Good morning, Stephanie.
Good morning. Hi, kids. A hot tea, please.
Welcome to Mornings on Main Street. I'm your host, Stefanie Miller. Thanks for joining us this morning. On Martin Luther King Day, a number of ceremonies and events happening across the country and also right here at home in Tennessee. Here in Nashville, the MLK Day events kicked off several days ago, all hosted by the Interdenominational Ministers Fellowship. But as for this morning, things happening right here at the Jefferson Street Missionary Baptist Church. There's a line of things happening this morning that we will share with you, but people still in here for the pre-convocation happening inside of the church ahead of the march, which will start right out of the front door. We'll have, like I said, that information for you. We'll also hear from the chairperson, the planning committee chairperson of the MLK Day events. Cheryl Mayes talked to us about all that led up to today, how you can connect and how you can get involved in the future. But first, let's get a check of our weather with the friends that we have down at Tennessee Valley Weather. Okay, that.
From the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel, this is your weather update.
Good morning to you, and thank you so much for stopping by Tennessee Valley Weather. I'm Ben Luna coming to you from the Home Weather Center with a quick breakdown on your 7-day forecast for this week. Lots of dynamics going on in the weather world across the region as we move through the next few days, but the biggest story, the extreme cold. Bundle up. Make sure that you, your family, friends, and neighbors are taken care of, with temperatures diving well into the teens, if not single digits across the entire area, at least through Wednesday morning. Now, the good news, we're on a warming trend, but we've got a couple caveats to that. Number one, for folks mainly south of the Tennessee River through North Alabama, there might be a snow flurry or two. Don't really think that's going to affect a lot of folks up and through Middle Tennessee, maybe along the Cumberland Plateau, but beyond that, our skies will actually be clear into Wednesday morning, and that's going to allow for temps to really drop low again through the entire area. After that, we pick up a good southerly breeze that's going to help to warm us up through Friday. Notice we're back on the back doorstep of 50 by the weekend, but we do have a chance for a few showers returning just in time for Sunday. Thanks again for stopping by Tennessee Valley Weather. Hope you have a fantastic Monday.
Hello, here's the latest news and weather from Main Street Media TV. Stewart's Creek High School's marching band. The Marching Redhawks were one of 5 high school bands chosen to participate in Donald Trump's presidential inauguration parade after raising $130,000 for the trip. 87-year-old John Soares from Murfreesboro is held on a $700,000 bond at the Rutherford County Adult Detention Center, charged with reckless homicide in the shooting death of his wife, Sharon Soares. The Murfreesboro City Council has sanctioned a $4.9 million contract with Hawkins and Price, LLC to initiate improvements at the Burnt Knob, Manson Pike, Blackman Road intersection, aiming to alleviate congestion anticipated from the construction of 2 new schools. The TSSAA Board of Control has voted to relocate the cross-country state championships from Sanders Ferry Park in Hendersonville to Shelby Farms in Memphis for the 2025 and 2026 seasons. For more news and weather, visit us online at mainstreetmediatn.com. Thanks for watching.
This holiday season, the largest lantern festival in the country returns to Nashville Zoo. Experience more than 1,000 all-new, handcrafted lanterns, towering creatures, magical worlds, and a North Pole village. At the center of it all, the Smashville Ice Rink. Welcome back to Zoolumination at Nashville Zoo. Bigger, brighter, and better than ever.
You're seeing the signs too, right?
What signs?
Welcome back to Mornings on Main Street. Many of us getting that 3-day break, but it's all to look at and highlight the work and the life of Martin Luther King Jr. And a lot of events have been taking place ahead of all of the events happening today on this Monday. To share with us more what's happened over the past few days, we have Cheryl Mayes with us. She is over the Martin Luther King events happening in the Nashville area and the Interdenominational Ministries Fellowship. First off, Cheryl, thanks for your time.
Absolutely, it's a pleasure.
So start off, where did you guys kick off things last week?
So we kicked off with the Woman of Faith panel that was held, it went to a virtual setting because we got a little snow again this year, but we kicked that off on Sunday, January 12th.
Yes, ma'am.
And following that, we were supporting the Fisk University gymnastics team. They had their MLK Invitational, which was held at the fairgrounds, so we were there to support them. And then we had a Banner Day, which was our next event. And Banner Day consists of communities, folks from the communities coming in and creating banners that we'll use for convocation during the march. So we did that. And then, the whole week, we've got a whole week of things happening. 16th, we had our premiere event, which was the MLK Gala. And the gala was redesigned. We used to do this years ago, but we brought it back. This is our third year. It's a sold-out event. The proceeds from the gala go to support students in schools at HBCUs right here in Nashville. So the proceeds from that gala support students enrolled at Tennessee State University, Fisk University, Meharry Medical College, and American Baptist College. And so we make sure that we are supporting those students because there's some difficulty sometimes with students being able to complete their education. And we want to make sure that we're doing what we can to make sure that these students can get through that entire process. On the 19th, we have the Youth Symposium, which featured several workshops. And most importantly, one of my favorite parts of this entire event has been the Civil Rights Icon panel, where we had icons from the civil rights that participated as freedom riders, told their true stories, their real life stories about the civil rights movement, what they went through. And interestingly enough, as they started talking, they started to talk about a lot of the folks that we know from history, and it was a firsthand account of being involved in that movement. So that's been amazing to hear from them.
Before we talk about all the happenings today on this Monday, the intergenerational panel that's up there, is this the only chance that we as the public get to hear from them? Do you know if they speak at other events? Because like you said, this information, those firsthand accounts are eye-opening, they're enlightening.
And I don't know that they are called on to speak at public events, but what I'm going to make sure that I do is to promote them. And actually, we did a live feed, which will be on our Facebook page, so that anyone who was not able to hear them in person can then go back and watch the video later. And I thought that was extremely important because if you watch it and you were as moved as I was, it will definitely call you to action.
What Facebook page is that, just so we know?
Sure, it's Nashville MLK Day.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it'll be right there for you to view once again. What is it like? You've been doing this, or you've been a part of this for a few years now.
For a few years, yes.
What is it like for you to coordinate and make sure everything is set up the way it needs to be to get us engaged and be a part of these events?
It fills my entire heart. And I will say that because of my own personal experience. Growing up in Nashville, I'm a native Nashvilleian, so growing up in Nashville, I had an experience that I haven't shared very widely with people where, and I'll share this with you, Stefanie, because I think you're a really good person, so I'll share this with you. I was 6 years old, and I was with my grandmother. We were downtown Nashville, and we had walked into the Woolworth. And we were on our way home, walked into the Woolworth. We were just going to pick up a few things. And I remember standing by the counters. Now, this was a few years after the Civil Rights Movement, but us being in, Nashville was still kind of segregated, but it wasn't overtly out there. It was behind the scenes segregated. But we walked into the Woolworth. My grandmother and I remember as a child standing at the counter looking at some of the candies that were there, and my grandmother was standing in line to pay for an item. And as I'm standing there, the lady behind the counter looked at my grandmother and she said, "You get that little N-word out of here." And my grandmother looked at me and she looked at the woman who was talking to her. And even as a child, I could see on my grandmother's face that she just wanted to protect me. That was her whole goal. She wanted to protect me. And so she looked at me and she looked back at the lady behind the counter and she said, "Come on, baby, it's time for us to go." And we left quietly. As a 6-year-old, I was just still kind of like, I don't know what happened. I just didn't understand it. But I remember the look on my grandmother's face that day, and she immediately wanted to protect me from what she didn't know could happen. Right. So that has been one of the reasons that I have continued to try to maintain my involvement. And I do, there's so many other things that I'm involved in, especially in and around this city, trying to raise awareness in the political process, but also in the education space.
Cheryl, I want to ask, at what age, looking back and reflecting on that specific event, did you become to understand?
I was 6.5 years old at the time, and that introduced me to, it sort of stole a little bit of my childhood, because it was very clear, being in the city that I was born in, that I was different. Not because of anything other than the color of my skin. I was different. And it was very telling to be able to, for me as growing up here, to walk around this city and be looked at as though I was sometimes less than human, simply because I happened to be born in this brown skin. And I can tell you that experience has taught me a lot. So today I embrace it. I embrace it. I am very proud of the brown skin that I have, because I know who I am and I know whose I am,
Yes.
So I embrace it. It's a beautiful thing.
A child of God.
Absolutely.
That is what we all are.
Absolutely. And my grandmother used to tell me all the time, you can't know where you're going if you don't know where you've been.
Yep.
And that is extremely important. And I want my granddaughter to understand the sacrifices that have been made for her to be able to be whoever she wants to be. So it's extremely important.
As you sit and you hear the panel discussion and looking at life here in 2025, are you proud of where we've come, how far we've come? Have we come that far?
I'm proud of where we are, but there is so much more to do. There's still so much more to do. When we think about simple things like our babies, and I call all these kids my babies, when we think about our babies not being able to participate in something so small, it doesn't matter what it is, but something that prevents them from participating simply because of their heritage or their skin color or their religious beliefs. It just doesn't make sense to me. So we've got a lot of work still to do, a lot of work.
And how do we do that? How can we work together? What do we do from this point, on this day, MLK Day here 2025? What do we do from here?
So we have to stop always talking about it and being about it. You can talk about it all day long, but if you're not putting some practices into action, it's just going to continue. I mean, it's great to have an idea. You've got to have a plan. You absolutely have to have a plan, but you have to turn that plan into action. And what does that look like? That means, as my grandma used to tell me, you can't know where you're going unless you know where you've been. This history is so important. Our young people need to understand how important this history is to their futures. So we can build on this, and if we have young people that says, well, I don't want to do that again, then we're going to be ahead of the game, because they don't want to go through what we've gone through to get them to where they are. So they're going to make sure that that doesn't exist. And that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping that they continue to move forward.
You have a number of events happening on this Monday. What do we have going on?
So, I'm so glad you asked. So, bright and early on Monday, and the weather says it's going to be one of the coldest in Nashville. So,
bundle up.
Bright and early, yes, please bundle up. Bright and early Monday morning, we will have our pre-convocation youth rally, and that will be on site at Jefferson Street Baptist Church. And we start that at 8 a.m., and that will go until 9 a.m. At 9 a.m., we will have our historic march down Jefferson to Tennessee State University. And that is, again, it's going to be a little chilly, so we ask people to bundle up. At 9, and that will conclude probably around 9:30 or so. At 10 a.m., we will kick off our convocation event at Tennessee State University in the Gentry Center. And that is going to be an amazing event. We're celebrating 40 years, so we're looking forward to it. It's going to be, our keynote speaker this year is Dr. Daniel Black, who is the professor of African American Studies at Clark Atlanta University. Okay. He's amazing. So if your listeners don't know who he is, I suggest that they look him up. It will be a phenomenal time.
It's going to be a big day today. Thank you so much for this. For those who are unable to make it to any of your events this year and looking forward to next year, we're like, let's go ahead and get this on the calendar. Where do we follow? Who do we reach out to connect?
If you go to our website, mlkdaynashville.com, all of our information is out there. And anytime anybody wants to volunteer, we welcome them into the fold. And we will have, the convocation will be streamed live on Monday. So anybody who is not able to get out or who is just don't want to get out in that cold weather, you'll be able to watch it via our Facebook page. So go ahead and tune in, and we would love to have you join us. This is a full process. We start planning usually around June every year to pull these events off. So thank you so much for coming out and talking to me today and sharing the information with your audience.
Thank you for sharing this with me. I appreciate you. Absolutely. I am a hugger, so I appreciate this so much. Any final thoughts before we let you go?
I just want to say to Nashville, thank you. Nashville has been tremendous in supporting us. It has always, we have never not had Nashville support in this effort. And because we have had so many amazing individuals who have come up through the rising phoenix, for lack of a better term, we have had some amazing civil rights icons that were born out of the movement right here in Nashville. And I'm so blessed to have that history in this city, the city that I was born in, that I love. So I just want young people to understand that it doesn't take a lot to get involved. You just need to take that first step, and we'll welcome you.
Fantastic. Thank you so very much.
Yes,
I again
ma'am.
appreciate your time. Stick with us. We're going to run through today's events when we come back once more, and also share with you where you can find and watch the Facebook Live of the events happening. If you're not getting out, we'll be right back.
Step into the Lionel retail store at Opry Mills, Nashville, and you'll be captivated by all the magic of the 123-year history of Lionel trains. Whether you're already a train enthusiast or just getting started, Lionel will energize your love for trains. NASCAR fan? Come check out your local Lionel station to learn all there is to know about model trains and die-cast NASCAR collectibles. Visit nashville.lionel.com or call 615-455-9399.
At Delta Dental of Tennessee, we know our success begins and ends with providing superior quality service, and that includes serving those who need it most. This year, we're celebrating 25 years of giving back to the community we call home. Delta Dental, along with our Smile 180 Foundation, supports Tennessee's dental colleges and oral health education, children's hospitals, free and reduced cost dental clinics, and other like-minded charities. Here's to the next 25 plus years of ensuring healthy smiles.
Welcome back. Cheryl, thanks again for your time. We do appreciate it. Okay, after the pre-convocation here at the Jefferson Street Missionary Baptist Church, that will be the annual MLK Day March happening right out front. It'll go all the way down 28th Avenue North. After that, everyone heading over to the Gentry Center, and that will start at 10 and end around 12:30. If you would like to watch all of this online, if you can't make it out, just go to Nashville MLK Day on Facebook. You'll have a live stream there. But again, you're encouraged to connect with MLK Day events in the future. As always, thanks for joining us here at Mornings on Main Street. Stay warm. Check on your neighbors, of course, your pets, and the seniors that you know. Make sure that they're all taken care of. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.